All right, guys. Appreciate you guys. Just want to start out and say, want to thank the Arizona Cardinals and JG. Put together some really good work. A little bit more volume, even in the heat today. We tried to start an hour earlier. Don't know how much that helped us when we got into the team periods, but I like the way our guys tried to work through it, battle through it, with the amount of repetition and volumes. So these 2 weeks are, kind of right on schedule. No issues today, as far as the extracurricular stuff. So excited to finish off these joint practices tomorrow. Wanted to just update you because I hadn't spoken with you. Daniil Hunter, that was a planned, excused absence that we've known about for a while. He had to go take care of something personally, and then he was right back here. You guys saw him yesterday, but just wanted to make sure you guys knew about that. He's having himself a great camp, and so excited to watch 99 do his thing this year. I do want to give an update on just our injuries kind of at this time, just because I don't get to speak with you all that much, so just wanted to let you know that. Kene is still working through the rehab process, no real change there. N'Keal Harry did, suffer a kind of lower body soft tissue the other night at US Bank Stadium pregame. Hoping to try to see if he can work through it, but might be tough to get him for the game. A couple guys in the concussion protocol, Sezi and Najee Thompson. Najee obviously has flashed for us on teams and had that kind of just freak thing happen. But both those guys progressing through the protocol, but that's why they were not out here today. Lewis Seen kind of suffered a little bit of a low-grade soft tissue thing. Will not be something that we're too concerned about moving forward, but want to make sure we allow that to heal. Jordan Addison back to fully being cleared. Jalen Naylor phasing back in, working through some full team reps. And then you got Makai phasing back in, Jaquelin Roy phasing back in, Garrett Mag. You saw all these guys today. And then CJ Colden, hoping to have him back for the game. And then Brian O'Neill, as many of you guys probably saw, this was kind of his first planned full workload, and no issues. Really proud of Brian and everything that he's kind of done, his whole progression, his patience, professionalism, making sure that we're right where we want to be. And then just as far as just to update you on TJ Hockenson, he's recovered from his ear infection, and he did indeed recently come in to me and Tyler and Uriah, and came in with some lower back stiffness where, he was off to the side today. Whether he could have gone or not, if it was a game week, is a different story, but with joint practice, I wanted to make sure we just kept his conditioning going, and that's something that he'll work through and possibly have him tomorrow or be ready to roll as we start our Tampa prep next week. But lastly, I just want to thank not only you guys for being out here every day, but all the people that it takes within our organization to put on a training camp like this. I won't get a chance to say it tomorrow, so whether it's our guys that handle the fields, everything with our tents, the operations of bringing all of our great fans here, providing the fan experience that we do to make this hopefully an experience that fans want to be a part of. As you guys know, it's my favorite time of the year when I can look out and see kids on the field getting autographs, enjoying seeing their favorite players, some players from other teams. So just wanted to say that, and a big thank you. There's way too many people to name, but we couldn't do it without every single one of them.
Kevin, where's Brian Asamoah at in his recovery?
Yeah, Brian's, being over on the offense field today, I'm not sure, overall what his work looked like in individual, but he's progressing back, and I think Brian's wants to get back in there. It's just that if this was a week or two ago, where he's at currently, we probably maybe try to push him through it. But just knowing we're real close now to Tampa Bay preparation, even next week in the bonus week, once we cut down the roster, we just want to be smart with him, especially if it's practice against your own guys, maybe. But it's that we can only control this environment so much, especially with guys working back from injury.
Playing on Saturday then?
He's really day-to-day in his recovery process right now. With tomorrow being very important, that seems like it's light years away to me right now, but we'll keep you guys updated.
What's wrong there? As far as what's wrong with him? Is it a leg? Is it a soft tissue thing?
Brian? Yeah, it was more of a shoulder. It was more of a shoulder that kind of came up in a competitive drill when he did it, and it's just been working through it. Yeah, I'd don't know if I would classify the question as what's wrong with him as much as just what's he working through injury-wise. He came in. We never got to that point, just because right around this. When I say recently, it was very recently, and he came in and had the lower back stiffness, joint work, control the environment as much as we can. But I know he got some good conditioning in on the other field, and Tyler and Uriah will help him work through that, and we'll see. We're kind of along the lines of Brian. We're kind of at that time now where we just want to be smart with guys that we know we're going to be relying on. And make sure that their preparation for September 10th is what we want.
Just to be clear, his summer, the absences he's had this summer are 100% related to his health and not contract or anything.
Yeah, I know TJ recently talked to you guys, but my dialogue with TJ, in regards to his training camp or, whatever that's looked like, has really been about the ear infection first and working through that, and then, some things in some of his side field work kind of popped up to maybe cause some lower back stiffness, but he has not indicated to me one time that it is about that. And look, I know we would love to have him in every drill, just like Brian, just like Brian O'Neill from the start of training camp. But we've got to have a process where we get these guys healthy, feeling really good to go compete as we head towards the season. But I'll say this: TJ's been phenomenal in the meeting room. Really leading that tight end room. The side work he's done, the individual work, the work staying in shape, his lifts and, conditioning and everything. I don't have any reservations about him being ready to roll for Tampa Bay. And like I said, hopefully this is a day-to-day thing that we can get him back out here, maybe as soon as tomorrow.
You guys don't really have restrictions on cleats in practice. I want to know what guy on the team has your favorite pair of cleats.
Yeah, I never thought I would say this, especially with my professional background. But Sheldon Day comes to mind when I think about the fact that, you walk out here, there's a lot of purple around here. Guys got, JJ will accessorize with, just about every color we offer. But Sheldon Day coming out in orange and black cleats every single day. At first it was one of those things where kind of bugged me a little bit, but then Sheldon Day is such an unbelievable person and player that it started to just wear me down to the point where now I couldn't imagine a day without seeing the orange and black cleats.
All right, thanks, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks, Sheldon.
When you had TJ off the field for as much time as you have, and a guy that wasn't in training camp with you last year comes in the middle of the season, how much do you have to kind of ramp things up away from the practice field when he's not had the years with the team and hasn't had the time on the practice field?
Yeah, judging by his experience last year, getting here on Wednesday and playing, 65 plus snaps and having a direct impact, I'm not real concerned about it. Look, I would love to have him out there just like any of our other players that we're really counting on. Jordan Addison working back in was good to see, but this is a continued grind for all of these guys leading into September 10th. I want them to be peaking at that moment, and the personal responsibility these guys have of being bought in to being 1% better every day. Sometimes that has to look different for guys that can't fully participate for whatever reason, and it's one of those things that I feel like our guys are owning that right now. And I know this: I'm not going to be holding back from a standpoint of my expectations for our team, our offense, or any of our players that maybe have missed time. Yeah, it was huge.
What do you like to see, the fact that he's worked hard to get to where he is?
Yeah, just his versatility to play all three spots. I mean, it was hot today. We're having to roll guys even with the first unit, and he's playing X, Z, F all across our personnel groupings. And even after being out for quite a bit of time, I mean, you reference a guy like that being able to come back and breaks the huddle. He knows where to go. He knows what to do, and he goes out and does it. And now we just got to work him back to feeling like he could just go turn it loose and play fast every snap. But mentally, in a great spot. Our coaches do a really good job with. There's not a scenario here where even if a guy's not going to practice, he doesn't get everything we got in the meeting room to make sure mentally we're still finding our edges leading into September 10th.
A guy like that back a little bit that feels he has to play a little catch up, maybe, or no?
Say that again.
Do you have to hold a guy like that back a little bit, especially?
Well, that's the progression of reps is how you do it, and then ultimately, when he's in there, you try to get him some things to, help maybe advance that from a confidence standpoint. But certain players like Jalen don't really need, that. They just need to be, give them their helmet back and let them go out there and just start playing football again.
Two different styles of play.
Yep.
Does that work out nicely in your preparation for that opener?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, ideally, you'd love to get, not to go too down in the weeds in football. You'd love to get different overall front structures, maybe a 4 down front one time, maybe a 3 down front the other. Doesn't always work out that way. The good thing is we've had a good mixture of both with teams that play multiple fronts, kind of like we do. We've gotten a lot of really good work, like the run game today. We hit some explosives in the play-pass game, and then ultimately today was about reps and by far our toughest environment of camp, with it being as warm as it was, and I thought our guys responded.
How good of a fit has Byron Murphy been?
Yeah.
He's still a young guy, but he's leading that room. And then did you get a sense that he was excited about this week?
Yeah, Byron, from my experience with him leading into us kind of reaching out, months ago to bring him to our football team, was one where some of the players that I have the most respect for, guys that I coached in LA, like Cooper Kupp, he always talked about Byron. Hey, he's tough, man. He's got great savvy instincts, quicks, understands kind of what you're trying to do as a route runner, and that's shown up from day one. What I did not know is just he's really assumed a leadership role. Every single day we get the same guy. I think he's excited to be in this organization. I'll have to go watch the tape how he did over there today, but I did see him pick a ball off in one-on-ones and hand the ball back to the official and line up and do it again. So that was a real positive, especially since his former team was the ones he was playing against.
When you do the cuts before Tuesday, what is the new third quarterback rule going to impact that? Because, I think for the last few years it's been 2 guys across the board. But you, as a quarterback guy, as an offensive guy, how
you
much...
can go a step further. As a third quarterback guy, the shoe fits, wear it. So. Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question now, because I spent a lot of time. I spent a lot of time kind of really diving in on that the other day, because there are some really unique rules to that. But our particular setup is exactly the setup where it benefits, because Jaron can be on our roster. But more importantly, be in uniform as that emergency third quarterback on game day. Really gives us, if we're suiting up 8 linemen, that gives us 49 potential players on game day. Just the fact that you can rest easy knowing that if a catastrophe happened, an emergency as they call it, Jaron can go in the game and function. But there's a lot of rules that go with it, as far as it's new for the fact that if Kirk or let's say Nick is in the game and comes out to be evaluated, he can come back in even though you've used the emergency third quarterback, which is unique from the previous years of that rule. We could talk about it a lot. Just know that we're all going to be working through it if and when, hopefully, not that I wouldn't love to see Jaron get some live snaps, but we feel really good about our starting quarterback. So hopefully we don't have to have any of those experiences, but it is nice for Jaron be a part of these trips, be on the field, be in the in those sideline huddles, hear the dialogue. It's all part of his growth.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.